Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this conference and for giving me this possibility to speak. We already had some presentations from the people who are dealing with data protection, and my one is just next to the discussion about the platforms. So that will be something which I would like to drive more attention to during this short speech. Unfortunately, I will have to leave you after that. But at the same time, we have the conference on e-justice, so on the developments also with artificial intelligence in the field of justice and home affairs. So EDPS is very pleased to see the careful consideration which is given to data protection on EU level and in all the discussions that we do here. And it's undeniable, in our opinion, that the COVID crisis has shown that the accelerated digital transformation is with us. It accelerates generally. And in doing so, it also has made the use of made us more aware of the endemic problems that the current digital ecosystem has. Imbalance of power between the handful of powerful players and the people who are called users by the advertisers' society. Real harms that can result from the algorithmic amplification, such as disinformation and discrimination, and insufficient transparency, insufficient accountability as well. And our de facto dependency on the private platforms as gatekeepers for the solutions, for the choices that we do, and for innovation itself. And addressing these problems effectively will be equally essential for us in the next years. So this is not only data protection that is dealing with it. These are the legal acts which are around and which are dealing with data and digital world in different dimensions. So Digital Services Act, Digital Markets Act, AI regulation, also Data Act, which is coming soon, or the draft is coming soon, and effective enforcement of all of them. And this digital ecosystem features pervasive tracking and exploitation of the people, which is perpetrated by the handful of companies with immense market power. And this has the consequences, as I said. I'm very proud that it was already in 2013 when we started to work on that as data protection authorities. First, I observed it as the user, because I was the National Data Protection Commissioner, and then as the assistant supervisor and supervisor in EDPS. In 2016, we have created our platform to discuss the problem between different authorities, which we called clearinghouse, digital clearinghouse. And it was an informal network of regulators from different fields of law. And we gathered them in 2016, 2017 to discuss the best practices and the experiences that we have in this field. And this leads us today, when we have the situation where there is finally some sort of consensus on convergency and convergent application of law, to the conclusions or to directions on how to deal with the ecosystems, but operational and practical ones. So, of course, we have to take into consideration, dealing with the results of our digital clearinghouse analysis, that integrating of privacy, data protection, and competition is absolutely obvious. Integration does not mean to create one body which is dealing with it, but definitely to create the framework of cooperation on the national level and on all European level. Let me offer the example. The big tech companies relying on certain business models have diverted the debate away from the privacy issues by saying that this is about advertisement and about personal advertising rights and personal advertising needs. And the problem is actually much larger, much wider. It's a problem of stalking the people around the internet, which these companies are engaged in. The problem is the use of this data to generate profiles that the people can rarely or barely nowhere have an access to, and they have no way to contest them. We should not be narrow-minded and only focus on quantitative parameters for the competition. We have to take qualitative parameters into our consideration as well. This is already part of the current competition practice, and it could be further broadened. And I think Mr. Mund will be telling about it quite a lot, because the experiences from Germany are really interesting, and the data protection authorities are still interested in the follow-up of the actions taken by the German antitrust authority. Data protection authorities should support the competition authorities in developing such a modern and more appropriate theories of harms. To this end, we would welcome the stable framework enabling data protection authorities to be involved in some competition activities, in some competition cases. I want to conclude by saying that there is no effective competition or protection of rights schema or framework for digital economy which is not connected one with another, which is not taking into consideration also the acts like Digital Services Act or Digital Market Act, and also the ones which is based only in Europe, only in European Union. So the cooperation with the other authorities, with the other frameworks and other legal systems is essential for us. And I think from our perspective, the fact that Lina Khan has been appointed the chair of the Federal Trade Commission, and Alvaro Bedoya was nominated also to be the member of that, is a very good sign, because Lina spoke on the panel organized by EDPS early in 2018 at the Big Data Protection Conference in Brussels. And the topic was exactly the threat of the tech giants to the democracy, especially in this year, which was full of elections on the national level. And she understands implications of this excessive market powers, and she may be joined by the persons like Professor Bedoya, whose role in the litigation against the results of clueless use of the black box technologies make us believing that the coming years, the convergence may be observed in Europe, may be observed in the US, and between our systems, as well as with the other systems in the world. So I'm really interested in the outcome of the discussion today. Thank you very much.